Hello, friends. I'm back here again to talk about science in Bhagavad Gita. In my Hindi channel, Science of Spirituality, I posted a video called Gita Mein Vigyan. On the similar line, but little bit section categorize and more planned aspect of the science in Bhagavad Gita. Uh, this was a question asked to me by someone when I used to boast about having the remembrance of all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. There was a time when I used to remember without really having gotten deeper into it. And ever since, 2005 onwards, I started thinking when this question was asked to me about the science aspect of it in Bhagavad Gita. So my revered Guru Maharaj, Swami Sri Adkadanandi Maharaj, in his company, by his blessings, I could actually unravel many meanings, uncover many aspects of the truth. And the verses which were told by Lord Krishna, for Bhagavad Gita, it is said that, this is Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukh Padmat Vinishrita Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimannai Shastra Vistare. So, since it has come from the mouth of Lord Krishna, the verses themselves actually have capability to transfer that knowledge into you. So, it's like, the verses illuminate themselves and actually reveal the true meaning behind. So, that's the power of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, in this video, I will make an attempt to explain the science aspect of Bhagavad Gita in two parts, because otherwise it will become too longer. So, I would say, there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. I have tried to categorize my understanding into 18 sections. Okay. So, in the first part, I will talk about 8 sections. And in the second part, I will talk about the remaining 10 sections, so which will make it 18. But they are not in the same order of the Bhagavad Gita chapters, and it's not the same chronology. I have tried to put that into the following sections. So, first section is the theory of evolution, which our science talks about Maslow's Lamarck's theory, etc. And Stephen Hawking said few things about the Big Bang, etc. So, theory of evolution in Bhagavad Gita. The second is the coding of the existence. So, there's the existence itself has been programmed to house it. The concept of time, so space, time, cause and effect has been talked about. So, the third one, existence of the life, body and mind, composition with it. So, that's the fourth thing. The fifth is composition of our mind itself, the fourth compartments of mind. Then the atomic theory, this is the sixth one. The seventh one will be energy and matter, so how, what is the interplay and interconnectedness of the energy and matter and how it is referred to in Bhagavad Gita. The conservation of energy. So, these are the 8 sections of the first part, which we will talk today. And in the second part, I'm going to talk about the psychology and control of mind. Then cosmology, the quantum physics, the creator and the creation, the biology and the genetics, the integrated aspect of truth, science and existence, and then the transcending of the bondages of karma. So, mind and body, how do you transcend all of this? Then the understanding of the universe outside and the same thing inside. So, they call Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande. And then realizing that everything is the creation of mind, all of this illusion is actually created by mind. How do you conquer the mind? How do you control the mind? Or how do you befriend the mind? So, that aspect. And the last 18th section will be end of the illusion, which is like universe, metaverse and multiverse. All of this illusion, the metaphor and the immersive experience that we get into the nature understanding that will actually make you end that illusion, and in the established truth and awareness, the illusion ends. So this is how we'll go about. Okay. So now I'll begin with the first part, which is, first 8 sections. Okay. So here we go. The first part I said what? The theory of evolution. So Gita describes the evolution of life form from all lower species to higher species, and aligns with the modern theory of evolution, right? So like many human research scientists and the evolutionists have spoken about. What Gita talks about is Vashansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparaani tatha sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanjati navani tehi. So as a person puts new garment, in the same way, the soul accepts the new material body and actually gives up the old one because it has become useless, and it cannot carry out those functions as that come in the mind in the form of desire. You are no longer able to discharge those duties, and you're not able to fulfill anything, is when you shed this body, is what it says. That so you evolve from body to body, life after life. You are evolving. So the evolution has an intended purpose, which actually is not visible and clear in one life. But if you see the chronology and comprehend many lives put together, years and yugas and all, then the comprehensive understanding of the intention of the universe and the life itself will become clear. So this is the first part of it, the theory of evolution. The second is the coding of the existence. So in the 4th chapter, first and second verse, okay, talks about imam vivasvate yogam proktvan aham abdeyam vivaswan manve prahu manu ichvaka vibram. Lord Krishna is saying that this yoga was told by me to sun god. Vivaswan is Surya, is sun god. Okay. So Lord Krishna says that I told this yoga to sun god, and the sun god told this to King Manu. Vivaswan manve prahu. So Surya said this to King Manu. Manu ichvaka vebravit. So King Manu told this to King Ikshvaku. So Ram actually supposedly from the same family of Ikshvaku, descendant of Ikshvaku Vansha. So Manu Ikshvaku Vebravit. Evam parampara praptim imam rajarsayo vido sa kale neh mahata yogo nashta parantapa. In this tradition, this yoga descended from Ikshvaku to Rajarshis. Rajarshis mean people who were warriors, who were king, and they wanted to accumulate and they wanted to replicate the same Brahma as a king to manage the population, do good for them and all. So they started accumulating things so that there is a well-being, and harmony in the society. So they were trying to do something was there. But because of their engagement in the world of accumulating more and more, they lost the essence of that yoga, the true meaning of that yoga, which was told by Lord God himself to sun god, to Manu, to Ikshvaku, to the Rajarshis that it came. Sa kale neh mata yogo nashta pradapa. Kale neh means over the time it got lost. The exact form, the true meaning and truth behind this yoga was lost. Okay. So meaning, now what is the meaning here, right? Sun god is, now it's like, what is it? Sun is a ball of fire, then a ball of fire, a huge star is talking to a human, which is King Manu. How is it possible that a ball of fire is talking to a king, and that king is talking transmitting some knowledge, which is now being transferred to from a man to man, from a star to a man to a man. Okay, and then what is being referred to here is the yoga is being preached and installed. How is it possible? So the science of it here is that sun is Sura, Surya. Surya is actually Sura. Sura is Swasa. So Ishvara, God comes in us and goes out through the breath. So that is Ishvara. That is why it is called Ishvaro Sarva Bhutanam Hridde Serjantustati. Ishvara, with the swas, in which, through which the pranas come in, through which all the cosmic energy come in, through which the truth is actually invading and going out and then actually charging everything. That swara is Surya. So this yoga was installed at an embryonic stage when we were conceived in the womb by God. So in the form of breath, that the first thing that embryo got was the breath. And the breath, when it was going inside, the vowels and the consonant, there were frictions, right? Because of the composition of the body that it was taking place. When the embryo was developing, so all of that movement was actually coding the nervous system. Okay, so that installation was happening. So in the breath, and from the breath, then that slowly the child started developing the mind. As the mother's mind was, the child's mind also started developing. Right, whatever was the stage of the mother's condition, mental condition at that time, accordingly, the embryo also started developing. So from there, because of that energy, pranic energy, the cosmic energy that was going, and the vowels and the consonant which were creating the brain, central nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, and all kinds of systems inside the body, respiratory system, so skeletal system, hormonal systems, etc. All of those were getting developed in us. Okay, and at that time, this transfer happened to the mind. The mind started developing, and as the embryo, as the child came out of the embryo, then started seeing the world, and then it started desiring and engaging with the world, learning more from the world. And obviously there was a natural attraction of doing more and more, to be able to get more and more, is when this remembrance of the original setup, original installation was lost. It's like the CD got lost, the CD-ROM or DVD-ROM got lost. And then we now have forgotten to look inward and to be able to connect with the source, and forgotten that the existence operates in this way. And it is constantly actually getting energy from the source of creation and can ever be charged, and can be charged for a long time. And that's the best way to operate. That has been forgotten. So that is the meaning of the coding of existence. And if we forget this coding, then we get into difficulty. This is the second section of the Bhagavad Gita where science is. Then the third one comes as concept of time. The Gita explains the cyclical nature of the time, which is consistent with the understanding of the time as a dimension, right? So space-time cause effect. So if you must have seen this movie Oppenheimer, where this hero talks about, I am the great destroyer of the world. I have come here to destroy all the world. So he was trying to justify the atom bomb and whatever he was going to do, right? So what it is saying here in Bhagavad Gita is, Kalosmi loka chaikar pravitto lokan samahartumih pravitta. So I am now going to destroy everything. So that there is an expansion, there is a conversion, there is creation, there is destruction, dissolution, etc. This happens over time. This is so. If the God will create, in the God, nature creates, in the God, nature dissolves everything, and there is a transformation that is happening. Okay, so if say in the lifespan there is development, beyond the lifespan there is transformation, beyond there is a evolution that is happening. Yeah, the development, transformation, and an evolution keeps happening. So over the time. So that's the concept of time. Okay, so this is the third aspect of it. The fourth scientific aspect is where the body has been explained. Okay, so existence versus body, mind, what it is, right? And who's the knower of the body, etc. So what it says is idam sariram kaunteya kshetra mitya vidhiyate etad yo vetitam prahu kshetrajna iti tad vidu. What it's saying is this body is kshetra. Kshetra is field. Field is where you will sow the seed. And unless the seed will then, develop and get groomed and blossom finally, right? So, say this body is actually field. And one who knows this field is called Kshetrajna. One who knows this field is Kshetrajna, knower of the field. This is how you should understand. This is what it says. And then he goes on to say that I am the Kshetrajna, I am the knower of this field. We'll come to the next section where this has been explained. Okay. So that I am the knower of the field is what Krishna said. So, in this field, there is this body, which is 5 layers of the body, the gross body. First thing is 3 layers, the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. And then there are 5 koshas, they say. It's like, food sheath, there is a pranic sheath, then there is a mental sheath, there is an intellectual sheath, and there is a blissful sheath. There are 5 koshas, of the body. And then there are 5 senses, 10 senses actually. So senses of action and senses of perception, right? So they are like, the master and the disciple. So one orders the other, and the senses of action actually they carry out all the functions of the senses of perception. So that is what the body and mind is made up of. And the mind itself has got 4 compartments. So mind, then you have intellect, then you have memory, and then the ego. So these are the 4 aspects of it. So which is what is explained in the chapters of Bhagavad Gita. What is mind and how, so we'll come to that, towards the end of this video in the second part. I will say that, how ultimately the mind has to be controlled to be coming out of this illusion. Okay, because everything is mental creation over here. Okay, so then it explains about the field and knower of the field. So field of all possibilities. This body is actually the pure potential. It is the field of all possibilities. Everything manifests in this body. So you can't ignore this body. Say, no, body is going to die, and then I don't need to know more about this body. And I said, this is a wrong perception. This is a wrong understanding. You don't know this body. And Krishna says that I know this body. That is why I am called Kshetrajna. So the Krishna is the master of this body. It is mastered. The body is body existence is all of the systems that we operate with, the nervous system, skeletal system, arterial system, venous system, hormonal system, all kind of excretory system, reproductive system, everything put together, all 9-11 systems that are there in our body. Knower of everything, how everything functions, how pranas function, how mind function, how intellect function, how memory lake function. The one who knows this perfectly is the Kshetrajna, that is Lord Krishna. So knowing the existence is very important. And once you know this, then understanding the cosmos, we'll come to that section. Understanding that cosmos is also very important, because on which, in this cosmos, on this earth, we exist, right? So what is our relationship of this body to the earth, to the planets, to the stars, to the nakshatras, to these 7 stars, to the pole star, to the different lokas and the center of the galaxy, and while we are around this in the solar system, relationship with the sun and the moon, and how the whole thing operates. The whole existence is this tiny dot is being impacted by so much in the universe. It has taken the whole universe to create you. So that's the creation. So to create that mind which is able to desire, it has taken the whole universe, actually. So the whole magic is flowing in us through this setup. It is a very complex setup. That's what the scientific aspect of Bhagavad Gita says here in the 13th chapter. It is the verse 2. Then coming to the 5th section, which is composition of our mind. So there are two kinds of being in this world. One is, which are divine, who for divine nature, and the other is a demonic nature. It's like the same person can have a divine nature and a demonic nature based on the engagement, based on life after life, where the person gets birth, what kind of people they associate with, what kind of engagement they have in life. Based on that nature develops, right? Some people are born with divine nature, so they choose not to engage with certain set of things, and some people have tendency towards going, like the Duryodhana had a tendency to go towards adharma, while Pandavas had a tendency to go towards righteous thing. So this kind of so basically the Kaurava and Pandav in Bhagavad Gita, they are the two natures, right? Two natures within us. So two kinds of thoughts, right? One is divine and the other is demonic, right? And the struggle between the two kinds of thought, like initially you will find the demonic nature is tendency, and like demonic nature means engaging in the nature and kind of being hungry, passionate about this whole thing, and then doing more and more and more, and then eventually losing the true bliss and consciousness within us, and then getting pained, right? And developing stress, and which is called as dukkha. So in Bhagavad Gita, in that Kshetra, which is Kurukshetra, which is this body, these are the two thoughts, divine and the demonic, which actually start fighting, right? And then there are 5 divine thoughts, like Dharma, which is Yudhishthira, and Arjuna, which is Anurag, right? Then Niyam, which is Nakul, Satsang, which is Sahadeva, and Bhava, which is Bhim, right? So Dharma means the dutifulness, right? Anuraga means is the complete surrender, and devotion, love for God. And Niyam is the discipline. Satsang means is like established in the truth, so always looking for the truth. And Bhava is Bhim, which is emotion. Emotion is the strongest thing, right? Bhim was very strong. And these 5 divine thoughts play a very crucial role in this fight. And Duryodhana is the moha. Moha is the illusion, delusion, all of the confusion. This is called moha. So that is Duryodhana. So these are the two parties, right? And Duryodhana has his parties, and Pandavas, Kauravas and Pandavas, they have two parties. And Kurukshetra is this body. And when the Sadguru, Lord Krishna, takes the reign, the chariot is this body, and he takes the charge of this chariot and the body, this Kshetra, which is Kurukshetra, becomes Dharma Kshetra. That is why in the first chapter, first sloka, I think, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta used. The Kurukshetra, which has become Dharma Kshetra now, Samaveta used. So for the purpose of fighting, all of have gathered. That is how the first sloka starts. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samayota, Yusava, Mamaka, Pandavaschaiva, Kim Kuruvada Sanjay. Now Sanjay is explaining this to this Rashtra, that the Kurukshetra has now become a Dharma Kshetra. And now they are ready to fight. And then he explains the both sides of the army in the first chapter. Okay. So this is the two divine and the demonic nature. And in Bhagavad Gita, in some chapters, it is said that Do Bhuta Sargo Lokesmin Deva Asur Evacha, meaning Deva and Asur, they are there in the same body of us. Okay. And then he says that by doing more of demonic thing, when you forget your role, dharma glani, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamya. So when there is dharma glani, dharma means the roles that you perform. You do the role of a father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, teacher, student, employee, employer, boss, subordinate, like all these roles that we play into our life. Now we don't like it anymore. We have overindulged, we have seen enough. Now we don't like it anymore is when it is called dharmaglani. Now when you know that doing all these things is not actually emancipating anything, not giving me inner satisfaction, is when you are looking for a dharma, a role which is bigger than all of these things. That's called paramadharma. Paramadharma is your own soul, Paramatma. Right? So yada hidai dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya. Meaning, now you don't want to do it. Now you don't want to do it is not done. You'll have to carry out those duties so as long as you are alive. Right? In some or the other form, you'll have to do some role. So then the Atma takes over and then says, no. Abhyuthanam adharmasya. Now you are becoming undutiful. So then within you, in your soul, in your mind, Atmanam srijamyaham, then he creates that paramadharma in you. Is that, with that paramadharma, you will be able to go inside. And in the light of the inside, the soul, you will be able to see with clarity as to how these roles have to be performed. What is the best way to discharge your duties and fulfill your role? So that's called the Abhyuthanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Srijamyam. So this is about the composition of our mind, how two divine and demonic natures actually start fighting, and how God actually controls this fight. And when you surrender, like Arjuna surrendered to Lord Krishna, then the God starts guiding you from within and step by step takes you to the development of all the stages and eventually free you from the bondages of mind and karma. The sixth section comes, which is called as atomic theory. The Gita hints at the concepts of the atoms and the subatomic particles, okay, which is the concept of the fundamental concept of the modern physics, right? So as I told you, where Lord Krishna earlier said that he is the Kshetrajna. So he says here that Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetresu bharata. Sarva kshetresu means all this body is Kshetra, right? So this Kshetra means the living and the non-living, everything which has become a matter now is actually a Kshetra. And that energy which is binding all of this Kshetra, all of these bodies, all of this matter is him, God himself. Kshetragyam, he is the Kshetrajna. Chapi mam vidhi, you consider me as the knower of all the field. And Kshetrajna yor jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama. According to me, one who knows the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, both, he has the knowledge. He has the true jnana. True knowledge is there with that person. So that jnana is called as the Pavitra jnana. Na hi jnanena sadrasam pavitram ihe vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddhim kalena atmani vindati. So there is nothing purer than the knowledge, and that knowledge appears in you. When yoga is completed, then within your soul, that knowledge emerges, emanates, illuminates, right? So that for the sixth section. The seventh section is talking the energy and matter part of the science, which is where Lord Krishna says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is nothing beyond me or bigger than me, above me or lower than me. Mattah parataram, beyond me there is nothing. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre madganaiva. I am the one which is binding everything. All the matter is bound by me. Like, the DNA is bound by deoxyribose. The same way we are all bound. Like the pearls of is woven through thread. The same way God is the binding force of all of the being. So Einstein's theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, right? Energy and matter. So energy transforms into matter, and matter when dissolves becomes all goes to back to the energy. That is what this 7th section is all about. The 8th section, which is the last section of this part of the video, the first part, is conservation of energy, which is very well heard verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, 23rd verse, is Nayanam Chindanti Sastrani, Nayanam Dahati Pavaka, Na Chayanam Kledayanti Apo, Na Shoshayatu Maruta, which is what it says that the soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can be burned by fire, nor can be moistened by water, nor can be withered by the wind, right? So that's the nature of the soul. And Gita suggests that like in our science says that energy cannot be created and nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed, right? It can be transformed, but it can never be destroyed, which aligns with the laws of the conservation of energy, right? So this is the scientific aspect of this section, which is the 8th section. Now, 9th section onwards, I'm going to come back and talk about how do we actually, knowing all of this thing, becoming aware of the existence, how do we actually conquer the mind and finally get ourselves free from the bondages and the cycle of the birth and death. So with that, I will end the video over here and resume back for the second part in my next video of Science in Bhagavad Gita, part 2. Thank you.